You are watching Platinum Northwest TV News. Good evening and thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Philadelphia Mangoeng. Let's take a look at the leading top stories. First up, still on the police Minister Saga, the EFF poses a legal challenge against President Cyril Ramaphosa, and gender-based violence murder accused appears briefly in the Orkney Magistrates Court. In the business news, Eskom has acknowledged that there are challenges in terms of meeting the 2030 emissions target. And in sports news, fans pressure Sports Minister on the VAR promises ahead of the PSL season. We begin here in a developing story that is currently gripping the nation. The EFF has served President Cyril Ramaphosa with a legal letter challenging his decision to place embattled Police Minister Senzo Mchunu on special leave. The EFF argues that Ramaphosa should relieve Mchunu of his responsibilities and that he does not hold the constitutional authority to place a cabinet minister on leave. In a letter sent by England Slabbert attorneys on behalf of the EFF, the party highlights several points that include the lack of constitutional power under Section 91(2) of the Constitution. According to the letter, the decision is not only illegal, it is also a flagrant abuse of state resources, as it allows Senzo Mchunu to continue drawing a full ministerial salary under the guise of special leave. Mchunu has been placed on leave of absence, with Professor Firoz Kachalia appointed as acting Minister of Police effective from the 1st of August. In other news, earlier today, a man accused of murdering his wife appeared briefly before the Orkney Magistrates Court, but the case was postponed to the 29th of July for a formal bail application. This comes after community members from across the Northwest Province organized a demonstration last Thursday expressing their concerns regarding the bail hearing of a man accused of the tragic murder of his wife. Now, Maditaba Mamutsie Balatseng passed away last Friday from injuries sustained in an incident where she was reportedly set on fire with petrol by her husband. In more news, the Northwest Department of Health in the Dr. Kenneth Kaunda district calls on clients to take priority in their health and return to and start HIV treatment. The district has been allocated to find and return to treatment 7,795 clients. In a statement by the Department Chief Director BP Maboe, the goal is to contribute to the country's efforts in ensuring that 95% of people living with HIV are diagnosed, 95 of those diagnosed are on treatment, and 95 of those are on treatment achieve viral suspension. Earlier, our team sat down with Ishmael Molloy representing the Dr. Kenneth Kaunda District Department of Health. Let's take a look.
Irikia mohele muhi wa kanale ya rona ya Platinum Northwest TV. Ditabeng tsa rona tsa letsatsing la kajeno tse ikgethileng, mme jwalo ka ha re tseba hore nakong e tjena ke mohlang re buang ka ditaba tse ikgethileng tse etsahalang ka hare ho naha ya rona, ka hare ho di-province tsa rona, ka hare ho disetereke le makeishene kapa ona dimasepala tsa rona. Ke Topo ya Mokwatle ya sentseng a hwehla ka letsoho hohle le hole mo o leng teng. Mme letsatsing la kajeno re na le moeti wa rona ho tswa ka hare setereke sa Dr. Kenneth Kaunda ho tsa bophelo bo botle, mme re tlo bua ka taba ena e hlobaetsang e ntseng e etsahala ka hare ho setereke sa rona ya dipalo tse hodimo tsa bakudi ba nang le kokwana ya HIV, mme ba sa hlotseng ba ya ho lata pheko ya bona ka hare ho ditleliniki tsa bona, ka hare ho dipetlele tsa bona. Mme letsatsi la kajeno re tlo utlwa haholwanyane hore na ebe metjha kapa diketso tseo lefapha le ditlo dinkang le mehato ke efeng hore ba kgone hore ba thole bakudi bana ba batlise dibukeng hore ba tsebe hore ba thibele ho nama ha kokwana ena. Mme he ka jeno ke na le ntate motsamai Moloi, mme a se kgetlo la pele a ba le rona ho tla re rarollela le hore hlabollela le hore fa tsebo ka tse etsahalang ka ro setereke sa rona sa Dr. Kenneth Kaunda. Ntate Moloi, e re ke ya moela hape letsatsing la kajeno.
Ke a leboha mme.
Ntate Moloi, kana boemo ba hae ka hare ho setereke ke bofe?
Ke mokaedi mo lefapheng la boitekanelo.
So jwalo ka ha ntate se ke hlalositse hore re bone ditaba hore mona ka hare ho setereke sa rona sa Dr. Kenneth Kaunda dipalopalo tsa kokwana ena ya HIV ba kudi ba teng ba khaella ho ya ditleliniking tsa bona ho lata medication wa bona. Ne ke batla fela pele re tla kena tabeng ena haholwanyane ka ho yona re hle re hlalise taba ya dipalopalo tse re nang le tsona ka hare ho setereke tsa rona.
Ke a leboha mme ha re lebella dipalopalo hantle re fihlela ile gore around 35 to 40% of all the clients that we see mo di facilities tsa rona bontsi ba bona ke ba bang le mo programming ya rona ya HIV and AIDS, and that is why it is so important for us gore re re sure gore that group, because ke ba bantsi re banne ba le mo treatmenteng ya bone, which is a permanent lifelong treatment as we speak right now. Yes.
So ntetemolo jolo ka ha le se le buile hore le se le allocate le ho batla bakudi bao ba 7,795 metjha e le kentseng tshebetsong ke efeng hore le ba khutlisetse dibukeng?
This is one of the strategies that we are using. Re buisana le ba botlhe ba ba dikgang, di kuranta, re tsamaya mebileng, loud hailing, re ra di open airs, re ra di campaigns in different areas. In all our facilities, we do what we call health education, even at schools, at community gatherings, everywhere else where we get an opportunity. But in our health facilities on a daily basis, we talk about this. Gore ba boele mo treatmenteng e ba e hlokang haholo, because once they are on treatment, now it is well controlled and it may reach a stage sa gore the virus cannot be transferred to another person.
Ke batla o nhlalosetse haholwanyane ka di-activities tse o ntse o bua ka tsona, di-campaign tse o ntse o bua ka tsona, hobane ke na le taba ya hore batjha ba rona ha jwale kapa batho ka kakaretso ka hare ho naha ya rona ya Afrika Borwa e ka re taba ena ya kokwana ena HIV ba se ba ilebetse. So e ka ba thuto e le kenyang ho batho e lekane na?
Go ya ka boemo gore bo ka tswa bo le ka tsela e ntseng jwang, and le tsela e re tla beng re fa thuto eo ka tsela eo e tla be le ka tsela e ntseng jwang. But we really need to foster relationships with different people. Re netefaletso ya gore re bua le batho ka tsela eo ba tla e tlhaloganyang hantle. What is important ke gore re itse gore you need to remain on your treatment. How se o le mo treatmenteng ya hao, after 6 months we expect you to come back to our facilities. Re tla go nka madi re gona go checka gore boemo ba virus bo mo leveleng e feng. It is possible that after the test that we have taken, we find that your viral load is up to a stage where we cannot even detect it. But that doesn't mean the virus is out of your body. That is the effectiveness of the treatment. Treatment it okobatsa to a point where it's almost paralyzed or powerless in your system. And that is why as you move on, it would also mean ha virus is at that stage where we say it is undetectable. Science has proven it when it is undetectable, it cannot be transmitted to another person. And that can only happen when we are religious and faithful treatment without having to come in and come out of the treatment. And this thing will help us for people to understand very well. You can imagine if you are having the HIV virus and you are on treatment, science says it cannot be transmitted to another person. So this is a perfect solution to make sure those that are having the virus, it remains in them, well controlled, is not any powers. And also we are protecting even others. So this means generally we are now working towards having an HIV-free generation. If people can remain on treatment, and those that don't know their status, let them come and test. And once they have tested, if they happen to be HIV positive, they remain on treatment and the virus ends where it is and it cannot be transmitted. Bokamoso ba bana ba rona can be very bright if people who are on treatment remain faithful on treatment up to a point where the virus is undetectable and therefore not transmittable.
Ntate Moloi, ha o bua ka taba ya di-treatment, ho na le mantswe a buang a bo CD4 count, ke mantswe a sebediswang ha o etsahetseng ao?
That is when we take blood and test your viral load. And then we find that if your CD4 count is low and it is so high. So that is why when we test you, when you are on treatment, the treatment suppresses the virus up to a point where it is not detectable. So CD4 count would be very, very, very low to a point where you don't have the virus. But it is at a point where the virus is unable to mutate. You must remember, HIV causes AIDS, and AIDS comes with a lot of opportunistic infections. Now, those infections, whilst you are on treatment, the virus is unable to mutate. I cannot develop, replicate, it there are many other conditions in your body, and that is why it's undetectable when you are virally suppressed.
Hopola ntate Moloi, ho na le story sa phamokate. Mehleng ya kgale ke nana thuto le dipale tsene di kena ne di ruta batho haholo ka tsona ntho tse. Ma hona jwale bo soul city di sa le yo ke tsona tsene re di re rotloetsa hore batho tshaba ntwenana. But now batjha ba rona he jwalo ka se ke buile hore bana le ntwane ya hore ba etshabe ba nahane hore treatment e teng jwalo ka ha hona le dipidisi. Ke batla o nhlalosetse mefuta ya dipidisi tseo di nwang hobane hona le e bitswang PrEP. So ha o ka nhlalosetsa tsona hore na di sebetsa jwang. O kena tabeng ya ka ya batjha. Ke batla re hatelle taba ena ya batjha ba sa etshaba nthwena.
Ke a leboha mme. Kgangkgolo ke gore treatment towards HIV and AIDS, it's so effective to a point where somebody has more treatment thing, it would easily turn your life as if you are living a normal, healthy life, because now it will improve your immune system, and those infections are not having any opportunity over you. Some people would have thought COVID, those that are HIV positive would die easy. Some are even saying they had a very, very better immune system because it had been strengthened by the ARVs. Now people would think, now it's gone, it's no longer there, and all that. And that is where we are fearing as a department and as government. Or when people think that the solution has been achieved, the virus, we still do not have cure for HIV and AIDS, but we are still working to get a cure for that. But at the moment, it is at a stage where it can be fully controlled on treatment so that it cannot spread from one person to the other. But of course, we are the most affected group. And then they tend to take chances about this. And that is why we are pushing for it. If they want to take chances and all that, the best that they can do for themselves and for the country and for the future, even for their generations, is to remain faithful on treatment up to a point of being suppressed. And even when you are suppressed, you must continue on treatment. Remain on treatment, and on a 6-monthly basis, come to our facilities so that we can check the viral load and see how far are you, see your CD4 count, and then, because we are different people and we react differently to different medications. And that is why, don't look at someone else as a youth, look at yourself, face your future. The future is bright, even if you are HIV positive now. Remain on treatment and faithful on treatment.
Ke batla go khutlele morao hanyenyana. Ke nana le sekolong ho na le taba ene re rutwa ya hore ngwana mme ha imile ngwana ho na le di chances tsa hore ngwana a ske aba affected. So ke ntse le teng taba eo.
Yes. We started this program on prevention of mother to child transmission of HIV AIDS. Yes, because there is a possibility the virus can pass through to the child. But once you come to our facilities, make your booking, what we call antenatal booking, when you are pregnant. Make your booking on time. We put you on treatment. Once we put you on treatment, you go through your 9 months period. And even after delivery, there is some medication that we give even to the child. And that has been proven. gore e fokotsa the transmission from the mother to the child. Our program has been very successful with regard to that, to a point ya gore we were now talking about full elimination of mother to child transmission of HIV and AIDS. Dipalopalo tsa rona di tlase haholo, compliant, those that are cooperating on that. For the past quarter that we talked about in Dr. Kenneth Kawunda alone, for all the people that came pregnant mothers, we only had one child out of all for the entire 3 months. And unfortunately, that mother came to our facilities just to come and deliver. And we did not know her status, and therefore we were denied an opportunity to can administer treatment and prevent this from the mother and the child. However, here is the solution once more. Get on to treatment, remain on treatment, avoid transferring it from one person to the other.
Ntate Moloi, Chief Director wila bua mantswe ana the goal is to contribute to the country efforts to achieve that 95 target. If you can explain more about that.
These 395s, we are basically saying we want to see that at least 95% of all the people know their status. We should be knowing our status. We encourage everybody to go to health facilities and test for HIV and AIDS. And once you know your status, our target goes on further to say 95% of the people that know their status, let them remain on antiretroviral treatment. And once they are on antiretroviral treatment, we further on target 95% of them should at least find a status which we call viral load suppression. And that is exactly where we are coming into now. Or let them be virally suppressed. They can only be virally suppressed if they remain on treatment. And that's where now we come into this goal that we are talking about. Virally suppressed, not be able to transmit it.
Ntate Moloi, ha re garela taba tsa rona ho na le taba ileng ya hlaha metjheng ya phatlalatso ya di pharmacy appointment repeat medication ha di sa hlola di ba teng dipetleleng tsa lona Tshepong and Klerksdorp Hospital. Ne ke batla ho hlalosetsa haholwanyane bane ho no bua ka taba ya batho ba ka ho kosho hore ba tlameha jwalo hore ba late di chronic medications tsa bona ka hare ho di clinic tsa bona tse malapeng. So ne ke re jwalo ka lefapha o ko hlalose ka bo holwanyane.
Okay.
Yes.
Ke a leboha mme. The health system operates from the clinic, Rebelidi Health Center, Rebelidi District Hospital, Regional Hospital, Rebelidi Tertiary Hospitals. These are the levels that we have in the health system. Now, how Lebella, Klerksdorp and Tshepong, these are our tertiary hospitals. This is the highest level of care that we have in the province. There is another level, of course, outside this, which is called academic hospitals. We are working towards that, and very soon we will be an academic institution that will be training, because we are opening a university of medical sciences in Potchefstroom, and then Klerksdorp and Tshepong will be platforms where students will be training. Now, what we are saying here is we want people to be conveniently receiving their treatment at their lowest local level. So if you are on treatment and that treatment is at a level where we can take you down to a clinic, we will make sure that the clinic has got your medication and you are able to collect your medication from the clinic. But we will not take everybody out, because there are some of these clients who still require tertiary level, who still require specialists. But once you are stabilized at the level of the specialist, then there's no reason for you to remain there. You must go down so that we can accommodate the others that are coming in. But also for the convenience of the communities, we want everybody to collect their medications at the lowest possible level. This will also assist us with compliance. And I did not have money, or I did not have money to go to Klerksdorp or to Tshepong to collect my medication. You will find it at your nearest facility. So we are empowering our clinics to have those medications that people usually collect at the hospitals, so that they can collect at their local level. And some of them will definitely be coming already prepacked, coming with your name, knowing exactly what Mr. So-and-so is coming to collect his medication. This is the medication that I normally collected at Tshepong or at Klerksdorp Hospital. Now I can collect it locally. and that will help us with batho ba adhere to treatment, and then re tlo bona a better life for our people.
Mohi ke tshepa lo ho dumela hore taba tse Ntate Moloi a re hlaloseditseng tsona jwalo ka ha a ne a qhaqholla seleng sa bua ke Chief Director le yena Ntate Maboe ka taba ya dipalopalo tsa batho ba sa hlotseng ba lata melemo ya bona kapa medication ya bona ka hare ho dipetlele, mme jwalo ka ha ho se ho bue le tabeng ena e re qetang ho e hlalosa hona jwale ya hore batho ba etseditswe bobebe ba hore ba seke ba hlola ba ya dibakeng tse hodimo kapa tse hole le bona hore ba medication ya bona, mme batle haufinyana le makeisheneng a bona, mme sena se tlo ba thusa haholo ka taba ya transportation, ka taba ya ditjhelete hore ba ska hlola ba kenya letso haholo ka pokothong hore ba fumane melemo ya bona le hore ba fumane kalafo e felletse le hore ba be le bophelo bo botle. Ntate Moloi, ha re phethela mantswe a hao a ho qetela di-advices tsa hao ho batho ba ka hare ho Dr. Kenneth Kaunda.
Ke a leboha mme.
Yes sir.
Re batla go kopa gore baahi ba rona ba mo Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, our health facilities are yours. There are possibilities tsa gore rona at the level of management there may be some challenges that don't reach us. Please talk to us. Re available at the level of management gore re kgone go thusa where there are challenges. These facilities we have employed skilled and highly qualified personnel. We are not schools. We get people from schools who are well qualified all round to can be able to render the services. So use our services, and if there is anywhere where somebody who accommodate us in the one way or the other, there's no way that I can say I cannot accommodate you. So if these people are working for me, it means now I'll have to find a way of making sure that we reach you. So you are our business as community members. Please come to our facilities, use them, and in case you are not happy, come to us and make sure that we assist you to get the type of health that you deserve. We are ready, we are here for you to make sure that we have got better health. And I must say that we have a position that we acknowledge as a district, Dr. Kenneth Kaunda, out of the 52 districts that we have countrywide. In the last survey that was done, Dr. Kenneth Kaunda stands at number 12, which is number 1 in the Northwest. So we want to maintain that status. We can only maintain that status if our communities are working with us. And if we don't get complaints, things are going on well. So please, keep on complaining to us so that we can improve. I believe we are not perfect, but if you are quiet, you would paint a picture as if we are perfect, and we are not. Talk to us, help us, so that we can improve each other's health. If you are healthy, I will be healthy, and we will be having a healthy generation and a healthy life for all of us.
Ntate Moloi, e re ke o lebohe, ke tshepa le dumela re tla kopana hape re bua ka tsona tsa bophelo bo botle ka hare ho province ya rona, ka hare ho distrike sa rona. Mohe ine le tsona tsene ko hlophiseditse tsona letsatsing la kajeno tabeng tse tsahalang ka hare ho setereke sa rona sa Dr. Kenneth Kaunda. Ke a tshepa le dumela hore Ntate Moloi ha se ho qetela a ba le rona. Dingata dintho tse tsahalang ka hare ho province ya rona ya Northwest tse tsahalang ka hare bophelo bo botle ka hare ho ditliniki tsa rona, ka hare ho dipetlele tsa rona tse hlokang hore di rarollwe. Mohe ine le na qotso ene ko hlophiseditse yona ho tswa ho nna Thope ya Mokwatle le Tshogotso.
And on to this now, as the number of verified cases of the MPOX disease continue to steadily increase, people who are more likely to get MPOX will receive vaccinations first. This is according to the Department of Health. The most impacted provinces, KwaZulu-Natal, the Western Cape and Gauteng, are the first targets of the Health Department's immunization campaign. The number of confirmed cases has now risen to 10 since the year began, after 2 people from Cape Town and Johannesburg tested positive for the virus. It is understood that they both don't have any travel history to the areas or countries currently experiencing an outbreak of the disease. The public is encouraged to visit their closest medical facilities for MPOX screening and testing to find out if they qualify for the vaccination. And moving on to international news now, Syria's interim president Ahmed al-Sharaa has said it is his priority to protect the country's Druze citizens after Israel vowed to destroy government forces it accused of attacking members of the religious minority of Suwida. Now, more than 350 people are reported to have been killed since the sectarian clashes between Druze militants and Bedouin tribes erupted in the province on Sunday. The government responded by deploying its forces to a predominantly Druze city to Suwida. However, the fighting escalated and government forces were accused by residents and activists of killing Druze civilians and carrying out extrajudicial executions. And with that said, let's take a look now at the business news. In the business news, power utility Eskom has admitted that there are major obstacles in reaching the aggressive decommissioning goals established for just energy transition by 2030. Eskom's head of generation, Beki Nxumalo, revealed that the utility's existing power stations may struggle to meet the crucial emission standards due to insufficient technology designed to curb nitrogen oxide and sulfur oxides. However, Eskom Group Executive for Renewables, Riboningo Mnisi, said the power utility has made a breakthrough in other global entities, taking over the slack left by the U.S. withdrawing its more than $1.5 billion commitment to South Africa's JET program. And that's all from the business news. Your sports update after this. In soccer news, in an address, Parliament Sports Minister McKenzie said that government is still finalizing the funding procedure for the VAR, casting doubt on whether the system would be ready for the PSL season. Since he came into office last year, McKenzie has been loudly voicing the need for VAR in South African football after last year's game between Kaizer Chiefs and Mamelodi Sundowns was settled in what looked like a dubious manner. The call for VAR has been growing louder and louder. Now, McKenzie's statement over the last year has led to soccer supporters understanding that the technology would be rolled out soon, but in his comments in a parliamentary vote speech earlier this week, suggested that VAR may not indeed be coming to the PSL. Moving on to rugby news now, the rugby rivalry between South Africa and New Zealand will enter another chapter on Saturday when the junior Springboks face the New Zealand under-20 counterpart in the final of the 2025 World Rugby Under-20 Championship in Rovigo, Italy. Now, the junior Boks qualified for their first final appearance since 2014 when they defeated Argentina Monday evening, while New Zealand beat France in their semi-final played earlier in the day. Junior Boks head coach Kevin Futter spoke of the significance of the occasion set to happen on Saturday, highlighting the rivalry and rugby culture shared by both nations. Saturday's final, which kicks off at 8:30, marks the first time that the two sides meet in a World Rugby Under-20 Championship decider since South Africa's memorable victory over New Zealand and in the 2012 sold-out final at Newlands in Cape Town. And that's where we're going to have to wrap it up for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back again tomorrow evening. Till then, good night and take care.